Welcome to 1 Minute Crypto. I'm your host, Kronos, and today the biggest reason inflation is taking a dive as COVID-19 hits the economy. In fact, we're seeing the opposite of inflation. Workers are getting laid off and some are taking pay cuts, which hints that demand for labor is down and demand for dollars is up. But with the huge money cannons being fired by central banks and governments, what is really going on? Two words: monetary velocity. That's the speed at which money moves. For example, let's say I earn $20 at my job. Then I go out to eat and I spend it. So now it's changed hands twice. I received it and I spent it. Then the restaurant pays their employee with it, and that person pays their cell phone bill with it, and then the cell company pays it out to shareholders as a dividend. That's five total movements for that money. Now let's consider the COVID-19 alternative. This time I lose my job, and the employer uses that $20 to help pay their lease on the building. The building is owned by a giant fund that just sits on the money to help cover losses from other defaults. So it's like the money disappears into the fund. In the first scenario, where the money moved five times, it has a 5x multiplier compared to moving once because it hits five different entities in the economy. I know this concept is probably completely unintuitive, but it's like five times the money exists during that same time period. The Federal Reserve has actually been tracking monetary velocity going back to 1960, and we've seen a steady decline starting decades ago. Now, look at the balance sheet of the Federal Reserve, which shows us the new money they're creating with QE and pushing into the economy. It went from $1 trillion in 2008 to over $5 trillion today. You would expect that to cause inflation, but all that new money is slower than ever, as we can see from the declining monetary velocity. That's why inflation has stayed so low. Many banks and corporations are just sitting on massive piles of dollars, keeping them out of the economy. So the takeaway here is that when money stops moving, inflation goes down. And right now, money is moving less than ever. In the next episode, I'll share my guess about where all this is headed in the future. How will COVID-19 affect the price of Bitcoin? Post your thoughts below. I'm Kronos. Thanks for watching.